All right, so now what we want to do, we've already created this, and we learned that we've got around 69 million or 65 million or so that is still outstanding as of December 31, 2018. Now we want to create this aging bucket, right? So we want to try and translate this from how we kind of wrote it to how Tableau, or understand how Tableau might do that. So let's see if we can give that a shot. So we want to create a brand new variable, and so we're going to do the exact same thing, create a new calculated field, and we're going to call this aging buckets. And now we want to start typing in what our if then else statements might look like. So let's start off with if, all right, and we want to get a difference between two dates. So there is and because I looked this up and I went on to a variety of different help screens that you can Google and figure out how to do this. In Tableau, there is a formula called date diff. So I just started typing in date, and you can see these things just popped up. So I want to look at date diff. And it's going to give me which date part. So this is date diff, and the first thing it wants to know is what date part. So the date part I want days. That is or day, right? That is the date part that I want, okay? So day. Then I want to get the date difference between, we decided we're going to go between delivery date and the end of the year. So let's take our delivery date and put it right here, okay? And we want to do a comparison between that and another date. So we actually have to define and type in and define what text I'm putting in here and convert it to a date. So in this case, all dates, when you do this, again, I just looked these things up and figured it out. When you put in a date, everything has to be surrounded by a pound. So here we're looking at 12-31-2018 pound. So now I'm looking to see that these things, it's between those dates, right? I'm looking at, I've defined 12/31/2018 as a date, and I've also got delivery date. And I'm trying to see whether or not this difference is less than or equal to 30. Because if it is, then we're going to put in quotations 0 to 30. Okay? End quotations. Now, for some reason, the formula is kind of getting bunched up here a little bit, which is unfortunate. But that's going to be the kind of the first line that you're going to have there. I'm going to separate out another line here, and now we're going to put in the next line. Else if. So this is, if it wasn't that, then let's go to the next thing. And we're going to still use date diff. We're still using day. We're still going to use the delivery date. And we're going to put in date. And it's still the same, 12-31-2018 pound. Okay? So all that still works. And now we want to do two things. We want to see whether or not that is greater than 30, and we're going to have to do another date diff where it is, we're still looking at day, We're going to put in delivery date again. And the same date, pound 12-31-2018. And we want to see if that is less than or equal to 60. Let's spread this out a little bit more. And if that's the case, then we're going to put in 31 to 60 in quotes. Right? And then we're going to keep doing that for the next two. And I'm just going to write these in quick. Something's wrong here because this should be coming up a little bit different. You've got something wrong here, maybe. Oh. Gotta be a space there. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this whole thing here. And just change this to greater than 60. And then less than 90. Okay, again, we're just putting these, trying to just load this in. Okay, greater than 60 and less than or equal to 90. Then, and then we'll come down here. This is the last one. here we're looking to see whether or not it's greater than 90, then 90 plus, and then we just want to put in end. And that's it. That seems like a lot, and we'll make sure that this entire formula is given to you, so that shouldn't be a problem. Let's hit OK. Well, it says we've got errors, so let's see if we can figure out what we're missing here. All right, let's see then. Oh, we've got to put in what this is supposed to look like. This is supposed to be 61 to 90. All right, now the calculation is valid. So I just missed something there and I put it in. And we're going to click OK. I've got a valid calculation. We'll see how it all turns out. And now I've got a new variable here called aging buckets. So now that you've got this far, and that took a long time, but that's okay. This is an iterative process to deal with this stuff. Now what I can do is I can take this 65,916, and in the columns I can spread this out to all of those different buckets. So let's see what that looks like. This tells me that I've got 0 to 30, 31 to 60, and 61 to 90. I don't have anything that's over 90. If I wanted to see whether or not that equals my total, I can go up here to Analysis. I can look at Totals, and I want to show row grand totals. And there's my 65, 916, 765. So this tells me what my totals are for my aging. That's good. But now which customers are causing me the problem? Well, we can take customers and we can put that in the rows. So now I've got my aging buckets here, and I'll add a new column with the listing of all my customer numbers. So let's we'll drag customer numbers into rows, and now it looks like I've got all my customer numbers, and I can see what their aging is, and I can also add some column totals here in Analysis, and I'm going to put my column totals at the top. So I'm going to show column grand totals, and I'm going to also move those column grand totals to the top just so I can see them. And I'm going to rename this. I'm going to edit the title. This is the December 31, 2018 accounts receivable aging report. And I can make that bold if I want, so we can highlight all this. We can make it bold. We can do all sorts of interesting things with it if we want. And so now I have a report. And this is my report. This is my aging report.